we're gonna start a little bit early today, folks, because I just couldn't wait. How is everybody? We missed you guys. Oh my gosh. Everyone, what is up? Charlie, the Stanleys, Han and Leia, Joshua, TMoney, Preston, huge welcome to Ven Skywalker. Literally, what is up? TikTok, famous. Let's go. If this is the Ven Skywalker, I'm pretty sure you are. But what's up regardless? Colin, oh my gosh, Stanley's, Sean, literally, Nic Gundy, yes, Aden, we got the pregame crew. Epic Dude was up in here a bit earlier. What's going on? Oh my gosh, Nathan, what's up? Would love to stay and watch, but I got indoor soccer in half an hour. Have a great stream. Have a great practice or game. Break leg, whatever. No, don't break a leg. That is not what you should say to a soccer player. Guys, that's what we say in the acting world. You say break a leg, meaning good luck. I don't know where, no, I know where that term originated. I just can't explain it now. But I guess for soccer, I would say, what would you say? Good luck? I don't know. Good luck. Play well. Yo, Kyle's in the house. Steven. Darth. So, I probably said that wrong. Sal, oh my gosh, you guys. This feels like a family reunion because it's completely my fault. I dropped off the face of the channel for really, honestly, like the past 2 months. Do y'all make content full time? I wish. Nope. Not at my current. Yo, Aden. Oh my gosh.
Aden, you savage.
Oh my gosh. Because of Obi-Wan. Glad to see you back, Kat. I hope all of your projects are going good. I'm really proud of you. Kenobi has been great. So happy to see Hayden back. All I gotta say is this is where the fun begins. Aden, firstly, thank you so much. It's so amazing to see you again. We've missed you. I hope you're doing so well, and thank you so much for that way too generous donation right out of the gate. That is, you're too kind. I hope you've been doing really well, and I'm so thrilled to hear that you're enjoying Kenobi so far, especially since I know how important of a character Anakin is to you. So, thank you so much, my friend. You're too kind. Hello there, Total Jarn. If I botch your name, I'm sorry. You'll know I'm not the greatest. Total Jarn. 2:30 a.m. here, but I couldn't miss it. Colin, oh my goodness, we are the reason for your sleep deprivation. I'm so sorry, but it's so great to see you, my friend. How are you? So, Kat went to the unknown regions for a while and is back taking care of business. Very nice to see the both of you. Yeah, let's call it that. That sounds way, well, not that what I was doing wasn't cool, but that sounds cool. That sounds mysterious.
Did you want to
I think I explained
details?
I explained to my members real quick. Shout out to Charlie, member for 9 months, master level. Let's go. Another milestone. And missed you guys. Kat, congratulations on your projects. Grand Moff Tom, enjoyed seeing your celebration pics. Yep, loving Kenobi. Nothing but happy tears for me. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that, Charlie. And we've missed you, my friend. I hope you're doing so well. Thank you so much for your membership and for your support always. But yes, as Charlie mentioned, I had a couple film projects going on in May. They finally wrapped, and I really, unfortunately, had to neglect the channel during that time frame. And you guys were probably like, where is Catherine during like the most intense build-up to a Star Wars series premiere? Like, why has she dropped off of YouTube? And frankly, I was also trying to avoid the spoilers and leaks at all costs, so I really wasn't like going online at all. Also, I was unable to attend Star Wars Celebration, but Tom was able to be there because I was working. It was all for a good reason. I had an amazing time filming. As you guys know, I'm trying to pursue acting. That's partially why we moved to Los Angeles, and this month was really fun for me getting to do that on a couple of projects, which I will be sharing more about definitely on social media, and of course letting you guys know when they premiere or when you would be able to watch them. But yeah, so I had a really busy month working, which was great. Tom got to go to Celebration in my stead, and I honestly had a little bit
down
of
the fort.
Yeah, I had a little bit of FOMO about that, so I was kind of just like staying offline. And then when Kenobi premiered, I literally had to work. Like, I was on set on Friday that Kenobi came out, and I was also back on the East Coast, so it came out at 3 a.m. over there. I was like, there's no way I can watch 2 hours of this and then have to go on set the next
First night it
day.
came out at midnight.
Oh, that's right, it did come out, but even still, I had to be on set quite early Friday morning, so I didn't even get to watch the Kenobi premiere until like Friday night, so that's why all my reactions have been a little bit behind. I still haven't posted or edited my reactions to Jedi Fallen Order trailer. I still haven't even reacted to the Bad Batch trailer. So much was happening while I was working, so I'm a little bit behind, but I am just we're both so glad to be back. We missed you guys, and we were like, we need to do a stream this weekend and freaking talk about the excitement that is Obi-Wan Kenobi. So, but yes, I want to reiterate Charlie's point. Yeah, I mentioned leaks. Spoilers, this is a leak-free zone. Even though we're already halfway through the show now at this point, I don't know how much further the leaks continue, but I know stuff is out there.
First 3 episodes fair game.
Yeah, obviously.
Anything that people know about the last 3 episodes? Not on the chat. Keep it just the first 3 episodes that have come out.
This is a leak-free zone. TMoney, congratulations! Member for 9 months. First internship done. Summer classes now. Second internship soon. Oh my gosh, you're having a busy summer, TMoney.
Congrats, man. That's awesome.
I made a huge video for Hayden Christensen. Much love to you both, and congrats. And you as well, TMoney. I hope you're having a great... congrats on all your internships, and you're cranking out there. You're doing awesome things, and I'm so happy. I hope you're having a great time. And Colin, member for 5 months. Congrats on your projects, and good luck with everything else. Miss these streams and all of you guys. I will go to Celebration next year. Yes, it's so funny, guys. I literally told Tom, because obviously I had to miss Celebration, and it was totally fine, and I was like, there will be other Star Wars celebrations that I can attend. Like, this is not going to be the first and last one. Sure, this was a super exciting one, and Tom, if you want to share some of your experience, definitely. But just my luck, I was like, I'll be able to go to plenty of celebrations. Who knows? Maybe even next year. And then they dropped happening in London, and I was like, oh, maybe not. So,
but for Colin, that's great.
Yes, all of our European friends.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's only fair. So, do you want to talk a little bit, Tom? And if you guys were at Celebration, do you want to share some of your experiences if you were able to go? But do you want to talk a little bit about what it was like?
It was great. It was fun. Yeah. Let's talk about Kenobi.
That's it? Okay.
No, it was good. It was a good time. My brother and I went, and it was really, really great. It was the first time that, either of us had been to Celebration. So some of the highlights, I mean, we weren't in the first panel on Thursday where they had, John Williams come out and all that. So we missed that one, but we got into all the other major panels. And so we saw, like the Mando season 3 exclusive teaser and the Tales of the Jedi teaser. We got to see the first episode and that show is, I mean, Dave Filoni just keeps finding ways to make more Clone Wars content, because that is literally just another version of the Clone Wars. So super excited for Tales of the Jedi. Got to see the small Ahsoka teaser and meet live action Sabine, and she got introduced, which is like, the perfectness of that casting is unbelievable. And so, yeah, I mean, we saw all the exclusive stuff. We got to watch Siege of Mandalore on the big screen, which was unreal. But even with all that, I think the highlight was on Thursday, my brother and I were just kind of hanging out at the Celebration live stage where they do the YouTube stream from. And it was about 4:30 or so, and one of the crew guys who hypes up the crowd when they're not actually going live, he was telling everyone, he was like, listen, I can't tell you, but you will not want to leave this spot And if you do have to leave, get back here before 5 p.m. Because at 5 p.m., everyone in this whole convention center is going to be sprinting over to this stage. And we were like, okay, well, that has to mean that Ewan and Hayden are going to be on the stage at 5 o'clock. And so we hung out there, and then rumors started to spread, and it started to get more crowded and crowded. And then it hit 5, and they brought him out, and everyone just went ballistic, and it was unreal. I think that was the highlight for me, and I think my voice is still recovering a little bit from screaming.
Yeah.
So
no, if you guys tuned into Evil Ewok, Zach was also able to be at that when they were on that stage, and he said the energy in the room was like you couldn't even compare like huge sporting events. He said like it surpassed even some of the craziest like sporting events that he has ever been to. So yeah, needless to say, I was salty about that one. Got in a video when I was on set working from Tom, and it's like 10 feet away from Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen, and I was like, but
yeah,
of course I was happy that he could be there.
And Hayden dropping this is where the fun begins in person.
Oh God,
I will hold that memory
electric
forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall really good. Got some cool Celebration exclusive stuff. We got some nice merch and things like this sweet Kenobi shirt.
You guys might notice a little more symmetry. We got the red and the blue lightsaber now.
Yeah, so
I don't know if you're gonna
blue saber over there.
be able to
Maybe.
see it.
I don't know if you saw it or not.
Yeah. But yeah, big exciting stuff. So Aden, congrats on your master level for 9 months. Let's go. Doing good. Glad to hear it. Got a new job. Finally done with the semester and basically working on some projects at the moment. Excited for Wednesday. And yeah, that's it. That's right. Wednesdays are our day now. Yep. Joshua, thank you so much, my friend. It's really great to see you. I hope you've been doing amazing. Did you hear about the rumored mall series? Oh, heck yes. If you've seen, I made a video about that maybe a couple months ago at this point. It's definitely on my channel, but yeah, I heard the rumor and then nothing has really come out since then, but there's so much in the pipeline right now. Like Darth Maul series is just a cherry on top of everything that we already have in store. So I will be patiently awaiting if there's more details to be released about that, but I mean, y'all know I would take it. I'll take a Darth Maul show any day. From Nic Gundy, member for 6 months. Let's go. I get it, Cat. I've been, what does AFK mean? Away from my channel as well, because of work and church stuff. But new music is solely in the works. That is awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Congrats.
Amazing, Nic Gundy.
Hope it's going well.
Glad to hear it. Oh, Josh. It's called Better Call Maul. Oh my goodness. Wasn't that a joke in the Lego Star Wars game? I think. Yeah. I think it is like the name of the level when you get to the boss fight of Maul. Oh my gosh. Joshua, you're too funny. Away from keyboard. Thank you, Nic Gundy. I should have known that. Yeah. But it's like I feel stupid. Yeah. Anyway, let's just get into the
well, there's the
meat of it.
Couple other things.
Okay.
Oh, thanks, Jerry. Appreciate it. Thanks, Joker. Yeah, the shirt is awesome. This shirt is.
Yeah.
I saw it, and like they had a couple other like Kenobi official merch, and like everyone who got on the panel got this super sweet like Kenobi poster. But yeah, it was cool. They even had like the red carpet, and they had like the actual costumes of all the Inquisitors and Obi-Wan like on display that you could go see. Like it was pretty cool. But yeah, and then Sal, you were talking about the Attack of the Clones panel. That panel was hilarious.
Yeah, Tom was there.
Like half of it, Daniel Logan and Tamara Morrison were just going back and forth, just hyping each other up and cracking jokes. And then they brought out Ewan and Hayden, and then Ewan and Tem were cracking jokes, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyways, well, let's just get into it, folks. And I want to disclaim before, because I know that there are a lot of mixed opinions and mixed reception going around in regards to the first 3 episodes of Kenobi, which, of course, I would prefer if it was a resounding, everyone is loving it and having a shared, joyful experience about it. But of course, this is a no shame zone if your opinions don't align with ours, of course. We haven't even fully like talked about it. We just keep rewatching the episodes, but of course, this is obviously a safe place to share your thoughts, and we're not going to shame you if you happen to be among the crowd that's not enjoying it so far. Just of course, as always, we like to keep it respectful here of the cast and crew and showrunners and whatnot, because very often, you know, writing or stuff that you might not like is no fault of the actor or, you know, some of the people involved or the crew or whatnot. So no hate, yes, as Colin says. So, but with that said, feel free to share. We want to hear from you guys as well, because I haven't really talked to you guys about this. I've posted my reactions, and I appreciate all of your guys' feedback on those. I'm glad you guys are liking them, and I have just been bad and not looked at the comments really, so I need to catch up on that. But feel free, share your thoughts up in here. And yeah, again, no shame if I don't want anyone to feel bad if you're not liking the show, because you're entitled to your opinion.
Yep, absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, I think you guys can gather from my reactions. I've just been I've wanted to make a video about this, and luckily, you know, we both wanted to just go live and talk about it because we haven't seen you guys in a hot minute. So this was like a perfect opportunity to have another dork discourse to talk about it. But I think you guys can gather from my reactions that I've been just pretty speechless about it. Like, I don't even think I could make a video, because I still can't remove my bias of like, I just can't believe any of this is like even happening. Like, even as we're rewatching the episodes, I feel like they're gonna disappear off Disney Plus. I've like told you guys that before. Like, I feel like it's not permanent. It's like, I just don't, my brain can't comprehend like some of the stuff that we have seen in this show so far. Also, this is a spoiler, like we can talk about.
Yeah, first 3 episodes are fair game.
We can talk about
if you haven't seen the first 3 episodes and you're planning on holding out and binging and whatnot, then definitely not stick around, because we're definitely going to go deep into what has happened so far in the show.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen them and you're waiting to watch all 6, which if you are, then you have the patience of a god, because that is incredible.
And also, you must just not be on social media, because that's a miracle if you've been able to avoid spoilers up to this point. But yeah, I think I'll just start with just a general summary of my thoughts right now. There are things that I can be nitpicky about with the show so far, but none of it has to do with writing or plot or character performance or character development or anything like that. It just mainly comes down to some production things, certain sets, certain locations that I'm just kind of like, not feeling it so much, but it has dwarfed any complaint or nitpicking critique I might have. It's just dwarfed by how just overwhelmed I am with the stuff that we are seeing and the stuff that is now a part of the Star Wars canon that I just never thought we would actually be getting. So overall, I'm loving the show. It's been everything I hoped it would be, hitting me in the emotions, the nostalgia. Seeing, you guys know, the main aspect I wanted to see was Kenobi's inner demons, and we've certainly tapped into a little bit of that, and I'm sure there's going to be much more, especially following episode 3. So I am just, it's giving me everything that I was hoping for. So what are you laughing at?
No.
I love your reaction videos, Kat, especially when you sit there and don't say a word, or when you stutter. Yeah, no, I feel bad because I literally just usually try to wrap up my thoughts or like say like, oh, that was amazing, but like I can't even. Oh, Abraham Lincoln once said that if you're racist, I'll attack you in the North. I hope that goes without saying. I think we have a pretty respectful corner of Star Wars fans in in our community here. I don't even feel the need to have to say that, because I know everyone here would never vocalize such harsh things about some of the performers. So, yeah. And I'm grateful that that goes unsaid on our channel here. So obviously, shout out to the mods if anything does come up. I trust you guys, but I think we have a bunch of respectful fans over here. So I'm happy about that. But do you want to share some of your thoughts so far?
Sure. Well, I know that we have had plenty of discussion here about, what we were thinking the show was going to be and anticipating what the plot was going to be, and how, we were talking about, and I was talking about, like, there was one major way to bring the most impactful plot. And the fact that so far it's centered around Leia being in danger and Obi-Wan fulfilling his commitment to the children of Anakin and Padme, plot-wise, I mean, it could not be...
It's exactly what you predicted.
It could not be more perfect in terms of what's the most impactful story we can see and they can tell. And from what they've told, I've seen some things online about certain lines of dialogue and certain story points, and people are finding ways to spin it that it contradicts, the original trilogy and things. But personally, I think they have done a flawless job. Every little reference, every little line of dialogue between Leia and Obi-Wan, whether it's referring to things in the past, like all the Padme references, or when you can, take their conversations and compare them to what happens in the original trilogy. Like, I think that it is so far only enhanced both the prequels and the original trilogy for me. I have not one single complaint on dialogue or story point, like you were saying. Like, all of that has been executed flawlessly. I think that it really, they've really told the most powerful, impactful story that they can. And pretty much everything that you and I and what we've talked about here, what we've talked about happening, has already happened in the first 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Like, everything we've said that we think would happen has already happened. And so now we're, like, completely in the dark. Like, we know that Obi-Wan is going to most likely, I mean, where we left off, he's going to go to this secret Jedi homeworld or whatever that Tarlo was talking about. And then Reva has Leia. And so now it's like maximum stakes. Like, even we were saying that Leia would be in danger and then Bail would summon Obi-Wan to go help Leia. But that danger was never the Inquisitors have Leia.
Yeah, that was
like
more than I thought it would be.
That is taking it to the extremes. And, I would, like, initially, if you had said months ago that the Inquisitors are going to capture Leia, I would have been like, okay, well, if they capture Leia, then that's serious treading murky water in terms of, child of Vader being very, very close to Vader. But however, how they've handled everything so far, and the fact that, Vader and Leia are literally face to face in A New Hope and still nothing clicks. Like, I think that I am not scared whatsoever, and I think the fact that they're taking it to the extremes and maximum stakes is really, really encouraging. And who knows what's going to happen. I mean, the fact that there's this hidden Jedi world, and they're talking about Quinlan Vos and escorting Force-sensitive peoples all to this one planet. Like, if we thought episode 3 was going to be dark, I think this is going to make the dark times even darker. Like, I am fully confident that they're going to track Kenobi to this world, and then Vader and Inquisitors are going to decimate all the Force sensitives that they have gathered at this world.
No, don't think like that.
That is, they're taking it to a whole new level. And if they do that, then, I mean, that just adds so much ruthlessness to Vader and the Empire. And, like, just as you think these things are building up, and they're starting to build this initial Jedi Order and rebellion and all that, like, it gets completely shut down. And then it makes sense because we pick up with Rebels, and it's very, very close to where we left after Revenge of the Sith. Like, there's very few Jedi. It's Canon, Ezra, the rebellion's just kind of forming, and they're collecting the cells and everything. But, like, the fact that there's this hidden Jedi Order now, way before Rebels, I think it's inevitable that it has to get squandered.
Don't think like that.
Put in the dirt.
Don't think like that.
From the Inquisitorius.
Also, did anyone else notice this didn't show up the first time I watched episode 1 or anything like that? but now that episode 3 is out, we went back and rewatched episode 1, and this screen was not there. Let me know if anyone else picked up on this. There's a new warning screen saying there are some elements of this fictional series that might be disturbing for younger viewers. And I was like, that is a freaking sign. Like, I can't believe we have a Star Wars project that is disclaiming something like that, like viewer discretion advised, essentially.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't believe this. Before we keep going, Kevin, member for 5 months. Let's go, Kevin. It's good to see you again. I really like the planet where Kenobi went to rescue Leia. Yes, Dayu, I agree. Yep. Reminds me of the Coruscant series they were thinking about making a while back. I agree completely. Y'all know I love urban, city, seedy, underworld planets, and Star Wars Dayu was great. I thought we were maybe going to get a little bit more time there, considering they really like advertised Dayu when the Variety photos first came out and stuff like that. But I'll take it. It was a really great first off-world planet to go. Get off Tatooine. You guys know I was like, I just don't want all of this show to take place on Tatooine. After Book of Boba Fett and Mando, I was like, we need to freshen things up, change it up, and this show is definitely doing that so far. Bird Church, thank you so much. I can see him in my mind's eye. Kenobi. Yeah,
how about Sam Witwer doing that celebration? That was,
God, I can't even think about it.
Was not there for that one, but yeah, that was pretty cool to see him do that.
Jerry.
He's a legend.
Jerry, welcome to the master level. Let's go.
Jerry, thank you
so much for your support and for being here. Nic Gundy, yes, the disclaimer is now up. Yes, right? Like it wasn't there before. Joshua, thank you so much again, my friend. I think this situation with Obi-Wan and Leia, that explains why she would name her child after someone she barely knew.
Yeah. And that's something that like never, like I know we've never really thought about, but it totally makes sense.
You're right.
And like someone else had a point about, I forget who it was. Someone else said something about like her message in A New Hope. Evocati said that, you know, one thing that's bothering them is that Leia talking to Kenobi in the message in A New Hope.
Yeah.
That, you know, it seems like she doesn't know him personally. But then the other side is when she's getting rescued and Luke says, like, I'm here with Ben Kenobi. And she's like, Ben Kenobi?
Yeah.
Like, specifically the Ben piece. Like, I think that in that instance, she was just being herself and she was remembering Ben Kenobi. In the message, though, it's totally framed from on the behalf of her father, Bail. And so she's just messaging through Bail versus a personal plea for herself, even though she literally says, help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I had a weird, morbid thought that maybe something super major happens and Bail wants to like wipe her memory when she gets back to Alderaan. Like, that's where my mind went. I was like, what if she gets her memory wiped? Or what if, you know...
She's not a droid.
She's traumatized after this. No. Anyway... Joshua, I think the situation with Obi-Wan and Leia... Oh, yes, we read that. Yes. No, that does make sense. Honestly, I haven't even been focusing much, and you guys know my biggest gripe, my biggest hesitance was how it was going to maybe detract at all from Kenobi and Vader's meeting in A New Hope. You guys know that was my biggest qualm with this show, you know, not wanting it to disrupt the weight that moment holds if that were to be their first meeting following Mustafar and Revenge of the Sith. But after some of the trailers had come out, I was like, okay, I can't not. If it's gonna happen, it's gotta happen. Like, I can't not see them in the same show not meeting up. Like, I started to loosen up a little bit and wanted to see it happen, and now that it has,
it's just begun. That wasn't a fight. That was Vader just asserting his will and trolling Kenobi. He had thought about putting Obi-Wan in that fire for a decade, and then the opportunity came, and he was like, I'm not going to let you out easy by just manhandling you with my saber. I'm literally going to slowly light you on fire and sit there and watch you and spare you so that I can continue torturing you in the future.
Yeah,
and he can go to this hidden world of this new order of Force sensitives that they're amassing.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, that whole moment, I couldn't even vocalize this in my reaction, but they somehow made Vader even more menacing and frightening and horrifying and demonic in this show. And maybe it's because we're sitting with Obi-Wan as the vehicle for all of that angst and buildup and learning he's alive and the fear surrounding seeing him again. Like, Obi-Wan and Ewan McGregor's performance have definitely channeled that, and his fear, you know, we know Obi-Wan is the composed, keeps his ish together, doesn't show his emotions type guy from everything that he's gone through. He seems to shake things off pretty quickly. Seeing the genuine fear in Ewan's performance has just elevated the terror aspect of Vader. But that scene in particular, I mean, obviously the stuff that happened in the town, I can't even talk about that. No. It's hard to even rewatch, and I'm shocked that Disney even, like, approved of any of that. I was fantastic. Like, how? I can't believe this is happening in Disney Star Wars, but that to me is, it just enhances Vader's character and makes him 1,000 times scarier. Yeah. But seeing that, rewatching that moment of, because Kenobi didn't ignite Anakin. He just was a bystander, and it just happened to splash up on him, and it happened. It wasn't like Kenobi lit Anakin on fire with menace and intent. Like, he didn't do that, and he watched it happen in pain. He could have extinguished him, sure, but his goal was to, you know, end the Sith. So he didn't do it on purpose, though. He is not the one who did it. Watching Vader force holding Kenobi and slowly lowering down his lightsaber, looking him dead in the face, not even watching what he's doing.
No, they didn't lock. He didn't break the eye contact lock at all. He just
lowers his saber, like, trolling out the max. That, and then what? Like, that is the scariest part of the show to me. Because that proves how far gone Vader and Anakin is. Like you could sense, for me when I watch Revenge of the Sith, I feel a little bit, you can sense, like, Anakin's not regret, but in those moments when he's, like, looking at Kenobi, I feel like you can feel still some of the relationship is still there. And the love he has for him is hopefully not all gone. Like, I just feel a little bit of it as he's looking up at Kenobi while Kenobi's screaming at him, "You are my brother." I always felt like there was still something human inside of Anakin in that moment, and their relationship was still present. This, F that, no, it's gone. Like, no, absolutely not. Like, the fact that he would, like, just want to light him on fire, wanting to light him on fire, like, that is the most torturous thing you could potentially do to somebody, not to mention someone you once had such a close relationship with now, and within 5 minutes of reuniting with them face to face, this is where it's at. Like, that to me was a sign, like, this is how far gone Anakin is. I can't wait to see. You guys know, I was barely willing to see one confrontation between the two of them, but when I heard there were going to be two, I was like, please don't ruin this. But now I'm like, I need to see that again, knowing where Vader is at. Oh gosh, it's just, I definitely missed Zach, what's up? Member for 5 months. Hey, Cat and Tom, good to see you again. Old friends, hope you're doing well. Same to you, my friend. Loving Kenobi so far. I'm glad to hear that. And Mike Hill, thank you so much. The one thing I'm confused about is how Obi-Wan's robe just got a little burned. He should have been engulfed by the fire. No, and I agree. When we were watching and I was like, how was his face not burnt? Like, I feel like there's a little bit of artistic liberties with that. Only thing I can think to say is maybe Vader clearly wanted to drag it out and have it be a slow burn.
Plus, that was a good one. They were walking in the desert all day. It's probably really hot, sweaty, so the robes were probably very moist. Less instant combustion time on the sweat drenched robes.
As I rewatched it, like, you can see Vader is clearly Kenobi can't move. Like, Vader's still holding him purposefully and purposefully on his side. And it was also his right arm, too. I mean, I don't know if Obi-Wan's a lefty or righty, but if that's your fighting arm. So that's the only justification I could kind of reach in my mind. Like, Vader wanted to draw it out, and so he held him in a purposeful position so that just his side was going to get singed and not his whole body just yet. But he obviously had intentions for that. He was telling him, your pain has just begun. Like, he probably intended to draw Kenobi towards him across that entire...
Well, no,
he force pushed him.
He put him out because he was going to capture him and then bring him back and torture him some more.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was like, he should have been a little bit more burned, but I think if that were the case, then that would have truly not broken canon, but I feel like if he were severely burned like Anakin was, then Ben Kenobi in A New Hope would have been visibly scarred and had, you know, wounds and would still be healing from that. So, you know, I'm willing to give and take. You know, I have, like I said, I have small little minor things like, wouldn't that have burned him more? But I don't even care. Yep. Let's just keep going. Like, I'm just so with this show. We've all waited too long for this.
Since 2005.
Yes, we have all waited too long for this. In my mind, like, I've been too excited to let the things that I'm questioning or some of the small critiques I have cloud my just overall enjoyment of the show. So I'm willing to give and take some of the nitpicking things that, you know, I the thoughts I have, and just be like, I'm just grateful that this is all happening. And so far for me, their meeting has not... It did not do what I thought it was going to do. I was fearful it was going to do, like, ruin, you know, the canon for me. It's just enhanced, you know, even though they exchanged few words during that moment, they were all powerful. There was no wasted dialogue. Every line had so much weight to it. What have you become? I am what you made me. You should have killed me when you had the chance. Like, it's all just crazy stuff. I didn't think we would ever hear exchanged amongst Kenobi and Vader, so...
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that's kind of surprising, like, there's some comments and stuff, and it seems like a lot of the Lucasfilm executives are surprised at the viewership of this show, and it goes back to, you know, just the medium that we are getting the show and the budget they've put into the show. Like, this deserves, like, if you're gonna talk about story and impact to the timeline in the canon, this is the same level, if not more, than, you know, what the sequel budgets deserved. And the sequels didn't even focus on the main characters. Like, Han, Luke, and Leia were there and present, but by no means protagonists whatsoever. But this entire show is two of the biggest protagonists in the entire 40 plus year history of Star Wars. And if you're going to tell that story fully revolving around them, then it deserves, one, I'm still not going to ever get over this, to be on the big screen, and deserves that feature film level of budget. But based on what people are saying, like, they were predicting, like, oh, like, it's not The Mandalorian, like, The Mandalorian is their standard now. But, like, The Mandalorian is a new, totally new character with, until season 2, all completely new characters. And so the fact that, like, yeah, it seems like this show could have been given a much higher budget, but they were probably like, the story speaks for itself, and, you know, we can use the budget elsewhere, which, you know, ultimately, if the problem is the budget and nothing else, which it currently is for both of us, like, that's fine. I would rather it be a fantastic story, a fantastic, you know, emotional ride of a story, than with a lower budget, than to be a maximum unlimited budget like some of the sequel movies that, you know, we are not the biggest fans of. You know, I think this is the much better option.
No, I agree. And like, you know, my initial thoughts were, especially in the first episode, I was like, I think they're striking a really good balance between, you know, the aesthetic of the prequels and also the kind of older nostalgia and kind of ambiance of the original trilogy, especially on Tatooine. And at first I was like, I don't know if this is purposeful or if it is because of maybe like a smaller than anticipated budget, but the fact that the original trilogy films were made a long time ago and they don't have modern day technology and it doesn't look like, some of it is very evident green screen or whatever, like that doesn't get in the way of my viewing experience so much. I have a problem with, you guys know, I vocalized this. I have a problem when a series relies too heavily on green screen, and that's all you can pay attention to. But that's not the case with this show at all. It's just my biggest, my qualms are like, like this looks staged, or like, that looks interesting, but it's like it's minor.
Revenge of the Sith was entirely green screen, and I even think Revenge of the Sith looks better than the majority of the show. And that was made 20 years ago, and the whole freaking movie was green screen. But
you can't tell. I can't tell.
No, and with this show, I'm thinking like it's the same characters, it's the same worlds we've seen, but like, I think Revenge of the Sith just looks better. But Joe from New Jersey had a great comment where he says that he thinks they're saving the budget for the last episode or two, which based on the plot and where it's going, if we're going to this world with all these Force sensitives and there's going to be a large scale actual battle between Inquisitors and Jedi and what have you, and then let alone this rematch of the century from when fully reformed post Qui-Gon Yoda conversation Obi-Wan comes out and tries to, he gets a new light and tries to turn Anakin, whether that happens or not. But it's going to be a full-fledged, Mustafar battle part 2, at some point in the show. So you're right. I do hope that they did not, short there, and they have all the budget and people in place to make this rematch of the century truly a rematch that is worthy to call a rematch. So
I mean, that one for me will come down to like the choreography, and Vader's abilities as well, what he can do in the suit. So Charlie, thank you so much, my friend.
Beast.
So happy that you both love the show like me, and if anyone wants Obi to be powerful and rise up to become Twin Sons Old Ben, it's happening. Qui-Gon returns and takes Kenobi to Johnny Lawrence to train with him. I hope you're right. Y'all know. Okay, obviously, I didn't believe a word Liam Neeson said when he was like, oh, they haven't called me back to do the show. Y'all know the one thing I wanted out of this show. Qui-Gon needed to be in it or else I will feel robbed. And obviously, I think we're on path for that happening. I also would not be surprised if Yoda is integrated as well. That could feel really appropriate. Like
that's a huge thing. That is one lingering question that I know I have is like, what is Yoda doing? Like, there's memes all over the place. Like Yoda just chilling on Dagobah, eating his popcorn, just taking walks, just taking naps. He's just hanging out, living in pure blissful zen on Dagobah. Meanwhile, the entire Empire and Inquisitor force is hunting Obi-Wan, and he's trying to protect both kids, and Yoda's just hanging out. He's just doing whatever. So I do think that, they've already teased the Qui-Gon. Like, Obi-Wan has mentioned Qui-Gon in every single episode.
Yeah.
And the end of the 10-minute long prequels recap at the beginning of the first episode, the last thing that's said in the recap is Yoda talking about communicating with Qui-Gon. So Qui-Gon, I think, is a total given. And I think that Yoda also has to be given in there as well. It's such an obvious thing. Like, there's 2 Jedi Masters that we last see. Why is only one of them in the loop? And something that could happen, which I think would be fantastic, but I don't know if they would do it, is Yoda is on this Jedi world that they're going to, and he leaves Dagobah just like Obi-Wan leaves Tatooine. I haven't really thought about that too much, so I don't know what the pros and cons of that would be, but ultimately, if Yoda's there and Vader's there and Inquisitors are there and we see Yoda fight again, then it's a win.
Yeah.
It's a win. And I think Obi-Wan leaving Tatooine is way more controversial than Yoda leaving Dagobah, because nothing's on Dagobah except Yoda's just the crazy force energy that Yoda's learning about and doing force ghost training stuff. Like, he's doing that all on Dagobah, but Luke and Leia certainly aren't on Dagobah. He's not protecting anyone on Dagobah. But yeah, the Stanleys, they announced Liam Neeson's voicing Qui-Gon in Tales of the Jedi, so
it wouldn't be unheard of.
We already know that he's lied about not being in Star Wars again, because he's voicing that. So if he's lied about that, he's certainly lied about being in Kenobi.
Yeah. And they're definitely with the show, they're tapping in with already the flashbacks that we've gotten, the voices Kenobi hears in his head of Anakin and Padme and Yoda. Like, they are clearly tapping into the nostalgia and revisiting the prequels with this. And I think especially now, now that he's injured, Kenobi, there's a come to Jesus moment in store for him. You know, it could be similar to, you know, Boba Fett in the Back to Tank. That's when he has his flashbacks as he's healing and recovering. I think we are in store, especially now that Kenobi has had this confrontation and seen Vader in the flesh again. You know, he's been just getting kind of snippets of nightmares and, you know, taunting flashbacks in his head. I think we're in store for some, like, huge flashbacks coming up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Maybe, like, more Order 66 content.
We're 100% Order 66, because Reva is 1000% the youngling from the very opening scene.
Yeah.
And so she's going to see live action Anakin slaughtering Jedi in the temple. We're going to get that scene. And that's how she knows that Anakin and Vader are the same person. Like that. I am so unbelievably confident that we're seeing Anakin in the Jedi temple at some point. And that's going to explain Reva's story. But yeah, I think other flashbacks would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Right?
Theory thinks Rex saved Kenobi from the fire. I thought it was the giant droid. Ned B.
Yeah, I've seen a theory that Ned B is not a droid, and that there's actually someone in, like, they don't speak because it's actual, like, a human in
Oh.
And that would be wild if like, I guess it makes sense, because yeah, obviously it wouldn't be Rex in clone armor, because that's not very hidden. That's not a very good disguise. And he couldn't show his face or his voice, because everyone in the Empire would know that he's a clone, and would know by whether looking at him or the sound of him. So, I mean, it makes sense. And that would be awesome. That would be very, very cool. Or what if it's Cody? Well, no, because Cody still hasn't shipped.
V-Rob, what's up? Cat, it's fun. Hope your projects have been going great. Sending positive energy. Thanks for the great content. Thanks for being here, friends. It's good to see you, and thank you so much for the kind words.
Yeah. Stanley's, that's another good point. In Rebels, like, Rex thinks Kenobi's dead. He says, he makes a statement. Ahsoka says, you know, Kenobi's gone. Like, they're both pretty adamant that Kenobi's not there.
Well,
but I wouldn't be surprised if they're both on this Jedi world that they go to, and they have a pact and agree that they have to make it obvious that Obi-Wan is gone, because whether they're aware of who he's protecting or not, which obviously I don't think they are, like, I think they could be not telling the truth.
What if, because one huge question I have now, and especially now that Kenobi and Vader have seen each other, the Inquisitors have been on Tatooine, my other biggest thing was, like, how are they going to maintain the believability that all of this is going to be able to happen, and Obi-Wan is going to be able to just safely return to Tatooine and stay there unbothered? Well, as far as we know, stay there laying low, unbothered, him and Luke, for the next stretch of time until A New Hope, which is going to be, 9 years at this point? Maybe the next battle has to end with Kenobi faking his death or some sort of inconclusive, like maybe Vader thinks he's killed him or thinks he's dead, like, or maybe doesn't know, like, that's one of my biggest things. How are they going to sustain the fact that he's able to just go back to Tatooine? Especially now the Inquisitors were there. Like, unless they think there's no reason to go back anymore, or like
they have no idea that he was there when they killed that other Jedi.
That's
like
true.
They have currently no ties of Kenobi to Tatooine, which is great because they shouldn't.
Yeah.
You know, just pure coincidence that they were hunting a Jedi and Kenobi happened to be right there. But he pretty much did the Force cut off like Luke did in The Last Jedi, so you know, they obviously wouldn't sense him or anything.
Yeah.
And The Last Jedi proves that Jedi can just remove themselves and become unsensible through the Force.
I'm curious also to see like where this takes the Inquisitors, because I'm also trying to think like maybe do they dial back like the Inquisitors a little bit after this, because this is obviously causing like a lot of ruckus with Reva capturing Leia.
Palpatine has to be pissed off.
Yeah, like they're going about things in ways that they, I'm sure, don't want. So I feel like there's going to be a huge reckoning for the Inquisitors after this.
Palpatine shows up.
And perhaps Vader as well, because frankly, especially seeing that meeting with Vader and Reva, like her hologram, that felt just so... He's so powerful and in this position of power now, yet he's so fixated on Kenobi. It just felt so like, you gotta just move on. Dude, like, it felt almost juvenile, how the way he was talking about it. Like, this is, I don't even care about the Grand Inquisitor. This is what matters to me. Just help me execute this. And I can imagine Palpatine, if he were there, he would be pissed about that. Like, he would not want to hear any of that. And he would think, we have other things to do. And frankly, you can't become the apprentice I need you to be if this is what you're still, like, lingering on. I want to do a poll now, because I've not even thought about this. But will Palp be a presence in... Can I spell?
No.
In Kenobi... Whoops, nope, whoop. Yes, no. We're not going to customize it. It's just a yes or no. But yeah, I haven't even really thought about that, because there's other people I would rather see first, obviously, such as Qui-Gon or Yoda and whatnot. So, Julian, congratulations, Master for 6 months. Hi,
Julian.
Kat. Hi, Tom. Long time no see. Congrats on your projects. Thank you so much. So once the Kenobi series ends, will you continue your gameplay on The Force Unleashed 2 or continue on the Batman game? Good call. I kind of want to finish Arkham. It was really freaking hard. I kind of just... I feel like I won't feel rested and settled unless I do finally beat that game. Anakin is very immature. I know, but it's been a decade. Like, I'm surprised he's still this bloodthirsty. I don't know.
After getting your limbs chopped off and ignited by proximity to lava, I think the pettiness is justified. He's been dreaming about being able to throw Kenobi in some fire.
But he has, well, no, he doesn't have everything he wants. But in terms of his goal of attaining power and controlling the galaxies and the Empire, like, he has that. It's immature to hear him talk about this, but you're right, Joshua. Like, he was such an arrogant, towards his demise. He was arrogant and he was immature, so this isn't nothing new for him. But I just can't imagine that Palpatine would knowingly let this continue. Something has to happen so that Vader gets over it and Kenobi can peacefully go back to Tatooine. I just hope that gets resolved, because that's my biggest thing right now. Like, what's the believability here that he could be able to just peacefully go back? Unless, and maybe we can use this segue into another topic, unless they do intentionally leave it open-ended in anticipation of a season 2. But I will just say right out of the gate, and I feel like you guys know this about me, I don't want a second season of anything unless it was planned from the start to
Which
be.
everything they've said has said that it's not. Everything they've said leading up to the show was that it was planned as a 6-episode limited series, and that was it. But this goes back to the executives not anticipating the success and popularity of the show. And they just, if you're a Disney exec or Kathleen Kennedy or whoever, and you're looking at the numbers and you're saying, wow, this is performing really well. How can we make more of this? Anything that Deborah Chow has said, anything that Ewan McGregor has said about, like, this was the original goal, any of the writers who had said this was the original goal, you know, if the higher ups say make a second season, then they're going to be forced to figure out a way to make a second season. And it could be treading very dangerous waters. You know, especially if they change the original ending of this show just to leave ambiguity for a second season. Like,
I freaking hope not.
Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think any good can come from that. Yeah, sure. Will they make more money? Yeah, they will. But could it just ruin? Like, if you have a second season and it's a way less impactful story, then it's like, yeah, like, I mean, that's cool, but like, it was not needed.
It seems like a lot of people are. Stanley's hers. It's been confirmed. Oh sheesh. Oh gosh. But it seems like a lot of people are in the same boat as us. Like, you'd prefer no season 2, stay a limited series. Like, I'd rather see a spinoff than a second season. I'd rather have a Vader / Inquisitor show or a Quinlan Voss series than a Kenobi season 2, unless it works, but no to season 2. And Sal, I immediately thought of you when they name dropped Quinlan. I wish I could have been in the room to see your reaction to that, because I'm sure you were saying earlier it made your jaw drop, so I would have loved to see that. Season 2 is unnecessary. I would only want a second season if it were really good stories to tell. Yes, I agree, Joshua.
If you think about the stories to tell, this is the story. It doesn't get more impactful than this.
Yeah.
You know, I think they've reached maximum tension story with not touching prequels or originals and just enhancing them. But if you were to take it further and be like, oh, like they actually capture, like, Vader goes to Tatooine because he senses Kenobi's there, and like he gets close to Luke, and like the kids are like, it could if they wanted to go that route, yeah, it would make it more intense. But then you're damaging and asking way more questions about how the original trilogy happened the way it did. But yeah, so I don't know about the second season thing.
Yeah. How does everyone I want to hear everyone's predictions, because again, I feel like we're all maybe thinking in the same boat on this one. What does everyone feel will be Reva's fate? Because I feel like I also saw rumors swirling about that, like if they would change what happens with her to accommodate a second season. But I unfortunately predict that she might have a revelation and come back to the good side, because I agree with I think we all have concluded at this point she has to be one of the younglings that was featured in the opening montage with Order 66. Like, there's no other way, and just the way the show is edited, you know, they show that and then immediately cut to, you know, a young Inquisitor deboarding the ship on Tatooine. Yep. So I feel there has to be, they're making it a little bit obvious, I think, but that's fine by me.
That's fine. It's good foreshadowing. It's good for the story. It keeps you intrigued. And, you know, we're eventually going to see how her hatred for Kenobi came about and how she knows Anakin is Vader. And, you know, I think that all that is great. But one thing I am curious of, which is this kind of changing topics again. But like you were talking about this earlier, where you were saying like Vader is being petty and fixated on Kenobi, and all the Inquisitors have all their attention now on Kenobi. Like, I think you're right that Palpatine is going to have to intervene and say, listen, you've got to relax. Like, this is whatever. And there's going to be some confrontation. And then after that confrontation, I feel like that would be a good time to get some actual like Anakin Vader centric character development, flashback, story points. Like people were talking about Natalie Portman cameos. They're like her cameo and Padme flashbacks. Like, I think that if Palpatine calls Vader out and calls the Inquisitors out for losing control and going out of their scope and, you know, all this stuff, you know, I think that that could trigger some serious, you know,
rage
feelings within Anakin. And I think that maybe we get some flashbacks from that. And I think a Natalie Portman cameo makes sense. I think that, you know, clone Tamora Morrison cameos make sense. I think younger Obi-Wan Anakin cameos make sense. Like, I think that could be very, very interesting. And I mean, Hayden himself has teased plenty of surprises. And he said at some point, he was like, in some interview somewhere, they asked him like, oh, like how many, like, are there moments that, you know, revolving Anakin Vader that you think the fans will really be blown away by? And he was like, at least 4. So we've seen 1 now, maybe 2 if you count the town walkway and
that blew me away.
And the fire thing is 2 separate surprise Vader moments, maybe 3 end of 2. So like I think that there's still plenty of room for more surprising Anakin Vader moments. Yeah, and if they, I think to trigger, like to justify steering away from Kenobi and going into Anakin's mind and making him the protagonist for a little bit, I think having Palpatine slander him and criticize him could be a good way to segue from focusing on Kenobi's turmoil to Anakin's turmoil. Yeah. But would they do that before the final rematch between Obi-Wan and Vader? I don't know if they would want to humanize him more before. Well, then it makes it
more heart-wrenching for all of us to watch.
Yeah, that's true.
Brings it back to how difficult it was to watch in Revenge of the Sith. Backtracking to my original question before. Sorry. I want to hear what everyone thinks about Reva. So, I prefer they keep this limited series. I agree for now. And we'll have to see how it ends. If there's an ending where I'm really like thirsty for more, then I could see. But if it wasn't planned from the start, then I'm hesitant. Reva sacrifices herself to save Kenobi. I think Vader kills her. She turns and Vader relieves her of her duties, aka kills her. I honestly think Grand Inquisitor takes her out of revenge. Grand Inquisitor or Vader defeats Reva. Lord Vader is notorious for killing younglings and Inquisitors, so she dead. It seems she will turn sides. Oh gosh, I lost it. Maybe Reva sacrifices herself. The Grand Inquisitor returns and kills her. Grand Inquisitor comes back from the depths of hell and takes revenge, taking her out because he will be back. I think she ends up helping Obi escape. Darth Jar Jar appears and kills Reva.
It's logical.
It has been confirmed Darth Vader Apprentice will appear on a series. Just kidding. Disney wouldn't allow that. The Inquisitors just need a band-aid. Dark side, keep Maul and Vader alive, and no use in Rebels. Reva hates Kenobi for some reason, so she can't help him escape. Well, do you want to share? Well, this wasn't your theory, or it was partially the part about that she heard Kenobi's.
Oh yeah, well that's another, that goes back to why she hates Obi-Wan. But I think we're all pretty much in agreement that she's gonna die. Like everyone in here is pretty much in agreement that she's gonna die, whether it's Vader or the Grand Inquisitor or whoever. Like I think everyone here agrees that she will most likely be dead. But yeah, for the her hatred for Kenobi, like I saw this thing somewhere that was a really, really intriguing theory, and it goes back to the Order 66 and everything. I think she either hates Kenobi because she knows that Anakin was his apprentice, and she saw firsthand Anakin coming in and killing all the Jedi, and so she could take that hatred and sorrow from what's happening and blame it on Obi-Wan for failing Anakin, which would add a lot of third person tragedy to the Anakin Obi-Wan relationship if she hates Obi-Wan so much because of his failure, and she blames everything that she's seen firsthand with Anakin killing Jedi and the 501st Troops killing Jedi. If she can blame all that on Obi-Wan, then that just adds to Obi-Wan's torment and his feeling like a failure. So that's one thing, and I think that's probably actually the most likely route they're going to go. But there's also, like, if all her friends die and she is hiding in the temple, then, you know, everyone knows Kenobi and Yoda showed up, and then Kenobi changes the message to tell all the Jedi to stay away from the temple. No one come back to the temple. And if she's hiding in the temple, waiting for Jedi to come and help and save her, and she hears or sees Obi-Wan changing the message to say, you know, no one come back to the temple, then she could be like, I'm doomed, and it's Obi-Wan's fault. Now, I guess she couldn't actually see Obi-Wan in person, because if she was hiding in the aisle over from Obi-Wan and Yoda, and she didn't come out and like, hey, Obi-Wan, Yoda, I'm alive, help me, take me somewhere, then yeah, that would obviously not make very much sense. But it would be very, very cool if she actually saw that happen in person, just from a cool factor, like seeing her see Obi-Wan and Yoda walking in the temple, like from a first person point of view, like that would be very cool to see. But then it wouldn't really make sense at all, because she knows who both of them are. I mean, Yoda's the Grand Master of the Jedi Order, and Obi-Wan's also a Jedi Master on the Council. Like, she knows who they are, and she could just be like, oh, hey, I'm still here. Like, I survived. Help me. But I think if she's, like, locked herself away in another part of the temple, or if she even gets captured and, I was going to say if she gets captured and then, like, they find Obi-Wan's message and she sees that Obi-Wan recoded the message that way. But I don't know. But the fact that she could somehow see the message, and then, you know, all hopes of her being rescued by another Jedi are squandered because Obi-Wan told no one to come back. Like, I could see her being pretty upset about that and holding a grudge. Along with the fact that she saw Obi-Wan's apprentice slaughter all the Jedi. I think both those combined, a hybrid approach could cause her to be pretty upset with Mr. Kenobi. So
I think it's also entirely plausible, though, because she is obsessed, and we can tell that she is craving, you know, the spot as Vader's right hand. Like, she clearly has aspirations to be in this position of power, so I wouldn't be surprised, because, like, I would also buy it if, you know, she was just so obsessed and she's so fixated on Kenobi because he's the biggest target. Like, if you're the starved student and you're trying to be teacher's pet, like, I can just see that she is so driven to get him because he is her ticket to, you know, being Vader's apprentice or his right hand. So, like, I would buy it if... I think there is a deeper level there. I don't know what the justification will be for why she is so fixated on Kenobi, but I can buy that it's just because he is the prime target with the highest bounty, for sure. I don't know. There is definitely going to be some sort of reckoning with her character, some sort of reveal, you know, that ties in the opening sequence of Order 66 with how she got to where she is now, kind of like a... hopefully something Trilla similar, like...
You just triggered a revelation in my brain.
Okay.
I didn't think about this once until something you just said triggered this in my head. What if... And someone said a comment about Reva having a hidden agenda. Or, yeah, Avocati. Reva's hidden agenda may not be what we think. What if she's going after Kenobi because she thinks Kenobi's the only one who can defeat Vader, and she's truly mad at Anakin, and all her hatred is mad at Anakin and Vader, and so she's being like, your enemy, you know, keep your enemies close, and she is trying to be as close to Vader as possible so that he would never see that she's actually trying to get revenge on him. And, you know, she's trying to use that via Obi-Wan. And yeah, that could be a pretty, I think that would be a very intriguing story.
Plot
you know,
twist.
if all this hatred and everything that she's gone through is purely towards Anakin, and she's suffered through 10 years of trying to buddy up to Anakin and Vader and be his, you know, right-hand woman. And it's all just to, you know, take revenge on him and then kill him when he's not paying attention. And, you know, we're just kind of like Anakin with Palpatine. You know, he hates Palpatine. You know, he says in Revenge of the Sith that, you know, he can kill Palpatine and, you know, take over the Empire, and, you know, he and Padme can rule and in peace and all this stuff. Like I think it could be a very, very similar plot. But yeah, which is great, because if that's true and then she gets exposed, Vader's gonna kill her. He's gonna be like, "You're dead."
She's dying either way.
End. But Stanley's, did you say that a few minutes ago? I'm sorry if I stole your thunder. I apologize. I think Reva draws Kenobi out, hoping he'll kill Vader, finishing what he shot.
Okay.
Stanley's, you get total credits for that theory. Glad we're on the same page.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that could be pretty interesting.
Yeah, if you can't,
pretty interesting.
if you can't beat them, join them type thing. Like, she knew either way she was gonna have to be an Inquisitor, so maybe she's trying to take him down from the inside.
Yeah.
I would buy that, but she puts on a show even when no one else is watching. That's the thing. Like, after she took out Grand Inquisitor, and, you know, taunting Kenobi, trying to lure him.
Yeah.
I mean, that could all just be part of the performance. But especially after she took out Grand Inquisitor, she could have dropped the mask there. I don't know, guys. I mean, the way she's played it leads to a bigger surprise, if that is what's going to happen. I hope whatever happens is that it is, you know, I don't want the ending to be predictable. Right now, I think it's predictable that she will die, but I want it to be in a twist type way. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe she won't die. Maybe, I don't know. From here on out, and this is what I wanted. This is exactly what I wanted from, you know, the marketing, the trailers, the teasers. Like, going for, I think we're up to the point that we've seen every clip that was in the trailers.
Yeah, we're totally in the dark.
Caught up.
We've seen every single trailer clip.
Yeah, so going forward, this is uncharted waters for real. So I'm just...
Well, the only thing we haven't seen is Reva on Fortress Inquisitorius, like, actually fighting and swinging her saber. We haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the one thing that I can think of that we haven't actually seen yet. But, yeah, her story, I guess there is more... Her story is going to be very interesting to see how it plays out. And I'm intrigued to see the ties and see her relationship. And, you know, ultimately, I think she just needs to die. And if she has a good story from that started with Order 66, and then we see that and, you know, get another perspective of a Jedi that was captured from Order 66, you know, like Trilla in Fallen Order. You know, Josh, you've been saying things like, you know, if she changes kind of right at the end, like Second Sister did, then it's kind of the same story. But at least Reva's would be different, because she was at the temple, and if she sees Anakin and survives, then that's what makes her special, right? Like, if she's like the one youngling, one Padawan who survived and got captured and was deemed to be an Inquisitor, then, and she saw Anakin, like, that alone makes her story special and worth telling.
Yeah. I don't know, but I like what Nic Gundy says. We're all going in blind. It's true. I feel like I've said, if you guys want to just share like a quick little summary of your thoughts on the show right now, I'd love to hear. I mean, everyone was definitely sharing at the beginning, and we were just kind of talking, so we weren't really looking at the chat. But only 3 episodes. There must be a lot in them. Yeah, Colin. Apparently, I'm hearing people are saying, you know, I have a feeling this next episode could be a big one. You know, big reckoning coming off of that defeat from Vader, going to Jabeam, like, you know, whatever's going to happen.
Is that what it's called? Jabeen?
I think.
Jabeem?
Jabeam?
Anyone know the planet that Tarla's talking about? Yeah, it's just something.
I think Nic Gundy typed it out. Jabeam? Oh. I heard Jabeen, but it could be Jabeam. I don't know. Jabee something. But
yeah, I could see this next episode being like pulling like a boba, and this the entire episode being like flashbacks, because like there is really like the story that's left is Obi-Wan is going to reconnect with the Force. He's going to become close to the Jedi Master that we knew him as, you know, for, you know, after his talks with, you know, Qui-Gon and Yoda and whoever else. You know, we're going to see this enlightenment happen. He's going to go Obi-Wan the White moment. And then we know Vader and Obi-Wan are going to, you know, duke it out again. But other than that, like, yeah, there's the thread of what's going to happen with Leia and, you know, Reva's backstory and Grand Inquisitor, what happens with him. And, like, there's those threads, but I don't know if that's 3 full episodes worth of content. So I could see just Obi-Wan character deep dive, Anakin character deep dive through flashbacks and whatnot. Like, I could see a whole episode dedicated purely to those. And I think it makes sense that it would be the next one. Planets from 2003 Clone Wars, is it? Is it the jungle planet that who fights? Anakin and Asajj Ventress, that jungle planet they fight on? Is that Jabeam? Because that would be cool. That would be cool if it was.
My high ground hype is real. I like that, Charlie. 50 out of 10. I'm loving this. I'm so happy to hear that. Really loving the show. Episode 2 was good, but episode 1 and 3 were fantastic. Other than some minor gripes, I am loving the show. I agree completely with you, Sal. We really need a Qui-Gon appearance. I agree, Steven. Y'all know I agree. Vader is ruthless, and it's great because it shows how much he has turned to the dark side. I agree. And I'm sure there's only more in store. I think Mace will appear, says Julian.
Mace.
That is a bold guess.
That's Boba season 2.
That is a bold guess.
It would be cool though. Like if what if Mace is the leader of the Jedi on Jabeam? And then we get Vader going there and killing Mace in this show. Could you imagine? I am all goosebumped up right now. It would be so like they've basically already said. I mean, Quinlan is alive. They've already said that there's this planet of Jedi and Force sensitives that have all been gathering on this planet for 10 years. I don't think it's unrealistic that Mace could be there on the planet.
Oh, God.
And it would be Order 66 round 2, except this time it's Vader in the suit and stormtroopers and Inquisitors raiding the planet.
That's so dark.
And then Obi-Wan has to escape because he has to protect the children. So all these other Jedi are protecting Obi-Wan, and then they all die. The end.
You heard it here,
oh my
folks.
God. Can you imagine? That would be... Oh.
You heard it here, folks. He's right. Anything is possible by this point.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say that's not plausible.
Kanan couldn't be there. Because I think everyone who's there has to die. Except for Kenobi. I think Kenobi's the only one who can leave out of
there goes Ahsoka being there.
That's true.
And
that's true. I think it makes sense for Ahsoka not to be there.
Canon would not dare be there.
Yeah, I think it makes sense for Ahsoka not to be there. But I think that's a perfect way to bring Mace back in a meaningful way. If he's kind of led this gathering of Force sensitives, because he survived, and if he found Quinlan and has been using him and gathering this and doing training, and I think it makes sense for it to be a Jedi Master of some level to be leading this thing.
Yeah.
Obviously Mace didn't know who survived, and he's just been searching and doing whatever.
I don't know if they're necessarily...
But
I'm not going to be anticipating them training. As Tarla was saying, they give them all new identities.
that's true.
And send them off to safety. Like, I think it's more of an operation of them trying to just lay low. Maybe. Like, maybe we will see the small grassroots group of Jedi with Quinlan maybe as the leader, like, trying to run the operation. But I'm not anticipating a planet full of Jedi survivors living amongst themselves. That's a huge target. And like Tarla said, I think they're trying to just survive at this point. And I don't think all being together in one place, unless they all cut themselves off from the Force, is a good call.
Mace is too arrogant to cut himself off from the Force.
Oh, God.
Mace is asking for it. Mace is like, I'm going to be as Force active as possible because I want this asthmatic robot to come here and get his ass kicked.
Andrew, what's up?
Wow, that is a wild... Who brought up Mace? Who brought up Mace?
I think
Preston?
you did.
No, I saw some comment about Mace. Who brought it up? It always comes back to Mace. Every single...
It does. I thought this was going to be over after Book of Boba Fett. Here we are.
Every single time.
Mace Windu, Mandalorian Season 3, guys? What do you think?
Who brought up Mace? This is your fault. Now I'm going to be thinking about Mace Windu.
I really think you brought that up.
No. Someone said Mace. I'm going to find it. Someone said Mace. Mace. M-A-C-E.
Mace will appear.
Yes, Julian is the Mace culprit.
Julian, look what you did.
Julian starts the Mace theories. Great theory, though. I mean, that would be awesome. And then we get to see Vader fight multiple Jedi Masters. And I don't think he would... I don't know if he would really toy too much with Mace. I think he would just be like, I want to kill this man as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Because if anything, he feels seeing Mace would be like, that was the decision that I was stuck in this life forever. It's because of Mace. And he's angry at, he probably blames Mace a lot too, because Mace is the one, if Mace had just arrested Palpatine and not tried to kill him, then Anakin might not have had to make that impromptu decision that ruined his entire life. So
Sal says Mace Windu is to Tom as Quinlan Voss is to me. There's one thing Dork Discourse has taught us. It's that, yes, Tom does like Mace. Sorry, Tom. Mace died.
Josh is all anti-Mace. Mace dying. Which is fun.
Oh, goodness.
Which is fun. But when he shows up.
Well, might leave it at that, folks. Our poll concluded that majority of people, by a slim amount, agree that Palpy could be in Kenobi. I even if there's just mention of the Emperor, I feel like it's got to happen to put everyone in their place. Because like I said, this all is just kind of like child's play from his standpoint, his perspective. So I feel like he would want to nip it in the bud if he knew what was happening right now and the way they're all kind of being sloppy going about it. So, well, that's it. That's our thoughts. I think, re-summarize, we're both really loving the show. I stand with, I think it was Sal who said I have minor a few things that I'm like, but it is not bringing the show down for me at all. I love the story. The acting has been exactly what I wanted it to be, especially from Ewan McGregor.
Yes. Well, we're talking about acting. Like, there's a lot of young Leia complaints at all, but I am blown away with her performance. And, like, I think she's perfect. Like, I think that even, when we were talking about young Leia being in the show, like, I don't think either of us thought it would be this level
extent.
of screen time and this like just the dialogue and the scenes that we've gotten from Leia being with Kenobi, and both Ewan and Vivian's acting is just incredible. And I think she's killing it.
No, she's definitely a huge part of the heartstrings. Because, you know, I always, you know, we hear, oh, you get the discovery of Luke and Leia as Anakin's children in the original trilogy, but it's harder to grasp, you know, because they're grown up, and, you know, something about seeing her young is really hitting me. Like, this is Anakin's child type thing, and seeing her this age in the same show with Anakin / Vader, them being in such proximity to each other at one point, you know, on Mapuzo, like, it definitely is hitting me more like this is Padme's baby. Like, this, they're definitely doing a great job of tugging at the heartstrings with little allusions to Padme and Leia wanting to know the reality of her true parents, but they're not overdoing it. Yep. So that's been really, she is perfect. I agree, Colin. I agree. A few flaws, but I'm having fun watching it. That's all we can ask for, right? I hope everyone's at least just having a good time, regardless of what you think. And like we said, we're going in really blind these final 3 episodes, and I think some of the hardest hitting stuff is yet to come. So I'm just kind of bracing, holding for impact. I really anticipate some huge stuff is going to happen in this week's episode. So I hope everyone enjoys. I kind of wish that the episode releases had stayed on Friday. Like, I just prefer it that way, but
yeah, that'd be great, because waking up for work after like 3 hours of sleep is not but worth it.
Yeah,
totally worth it.
We're all in this together with our sleep deprivation post Kenobi. Yeah. But it's a good thing, because it means the episodes are a good length. I am glad with these episode lengths. That's a huge win for me. I feel like that you guys know I was not going to settle for less than 30 minutes. So, like last week's episode, I think was the shortest, but it packed the most punch. Like, they've done a good job of filling the time, so it doesn't feel like it's dragging. The story is definitely like moving, I feel like. So thank you so much. I miss these streams so much. Colin, thank you so much, my friend. Really, really excited to see you guys again. Oh my god, we didn't even talk about Andor. We might have to do another Dork Discourse already this week. Maybe we'll do one Tuesday night to prep for staying awake. If you guys want, I would love to do that, because there's so much other stuff that we haven't even talked about. You know, catching up on Andor, Jedi Fallen Order, Bad Batch, so much stuff to discuss. So, and also we literally have not done a live stream since, honestly, like March at this point. So we got some catching up to do, but we really missed all of you. Glad that you're all doing really well, sounds like. And yeah, thank you for the turnout today. I was so glad everyone was on board, since we kind of announced it last minute, but we really wanted to get back and stream and catch up with you guys, and it's been fun. So good stuff ahead. Now that I am done working, so now we can just focus on Kenobi going forward. Expect more content, more reactions, and more streams, hopefully.
Yeah, it's good to talk to you guys again. It's been a while, and I mean, we could sit here and talk literally all day.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like, I'm sure a lot of you guys in the chat, like, obviously everyone's here because they love Star Wars an immense amount. And obviously you can't have these in-depth conversations that will impact you, like with people you work with, or people at school, or people, you know, wherever you are and whatever you do. Like, you can't just have these conversations casually with a lot of people. But so it's always nice getting to stream and just go super in depth and hit it hard with everybody in the chat, and everybody, you know, who's appreciating and entertained and interested in having these kind of conversations.
You retired. So, I didn't retire. I was working on 2 film sets this past month. That's what I mean by working. I was working. No, I am not retired. Definitely not. But I am not filming anything, you know, as far as I know, for the remainder of Kenobi. So I'm back and able to focus on the excitement around Star Wars. So, well, friends, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, night, morning, evening, 3 a.m. If you're Colin, thank you so much, our friend, for staying. Good night. Party's just getting started. Sorry, Dan. Oh, sorry if you guys are just. I can go for another 6 hours with you lot. Oh, that means so much. Yeah. Maybe.
Glad you enjoy it.
Yeah.
Glad you guys enjoy it.
Yeah. So, I think maybe after Kenobi we might have to go for 6 hours and just decompress, depending on how this finale goes down. So you never know. Stay tuned. But thank you all so much for hanging out, for being here. If you super chatted, it means the world to us, to our members. Congrats on all your milestones. That means so much to us as well. And yeah, thank you guys just so much for being here. Really missed you, and this is madness. I just got here. Oh, Dan, I'm so sorry. Why do I feel like this has happened before with Dan, that we've been wrapping up right as you've popped in, but I don't
know.
But,
yeah. Andrew, celebration stuff. We got some. I increased the collection of stuff that's in this.
Oh
room,
yeah, I think we want to make a video about it, maybe.
Yeah, we could do a celebration merch purchase little tour. Not anything too crazy. It's not, there was some stuff like Sideshow Collectibles had a booth, and let me tell you, there's a lot of really cool, really expensive stuff at that booth. But I showed restraint. Showed there's a lot of willpower walking through there and not just pulling the trigger and getting something. Mainly because I don't know where we would put it. Like, I was thinking about where would we put this massive flaming Vader statue in this room, and I couldn't find a spot. So
maybe one day, guys. Anyways, it's gonna be a wrap from us. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. We really missed you guys again. We sound like a broken record, but it's true, and it was so great to see you all. And honestly, stay tuned this week. We might be back for another Dork Discourse on Tuesday to pregame for this week's episode. So,
have you been holding Grogu the whole time?
Yes. You're so passionate about Mace Windu, you couldn't notice. There we go. There's the man who has yet to make a cameo. We'll see. We'll see if he does. But all right, thank you guys so much for hanging out. We really missed you guys. It was great to see you all. Hope you're all doing so well. May the Force be with you guys always, and we'll see you guys again very, very soon. But until then, take care, friends.
Talk to y'all later.